skill. 3 relationship secrets. Matt Boggs actually shared with us last week attributes. These 3 relationship secrets are based on the laws of the universe. If you don't know about the laws of the universe, I want you to start to get with it. This first secret relationship is based on the law of chemistry. Matt relates that to igniters. Women have igniters and men have igniters. The women's igniter is the hormone oxytocin, and that is going to be what we call a bonding hormone. For women, it's talking and sharing and communicating. We love our friends. We love talking on the phone. The second the second igniter is collaboration. Women like to work with other people. We like to collaborate because we feel connected when we do this. The third one is connection, and we do this with our friends. We stay friends with people for a long time, whether it's male or female, with whom we have a strong connection, a mental, an emotional connection. And lastly, contribution. Women like to contribute. Matt tells a funny story about a woman with whom he is helping find the love of her life. And she has been doing quite a bit of dating, and it's only the first dates that she goes on, there's no follow-up afterward. He asks her why, and she begins to explain what happens on the dates. In each date, she thinks she's contributing, but what she's really doing is inhibiting her male counterpart's igniter. What she is doing is, for instance, one of her most recent dates was they were driving to a theater to see a film, and she's telling him when to get off at the next exit because it's coming up. And he says, okay. Then when they get to the theater, he's driving around to find a parking space, and she goes, oh, there's one up front. Why don't you go around a few more times and we can park closer? Again, in his mind, he's thinking, And there was one other instance where she was telling him, making a suggestion, what to do. What Matt explains is this inhibits the male's igniter because they are driven by dopamine, which is a feel-good, I'm a hero, I can do anything hormone, which is similar to cocaine. Men's igniters that would relate to this situation of the fact that she's telling him what to do, basically, unsolicited advice. One of their igniters is solving problems, so she has inhibited him from doing that. Also facing danger, because driving, that's why we see so many men behind the wheel when there's a woman in the car. Men like that aspect of facing danger. When she is telling him how to get off at the exit and how to find a parking space, she's still inhibiting his dopamine. Efficiency, she's not allowing him to be efficient and finding his own way around to the theater and to a parking space. With men's igniters, the first one is action, and men love to compete. That's what the action means as far as the first igniter. Second is productivity. They like to feel like they've got a job done. Facing danger, as I mentioned, so they love sports. They love anything that has a little bit of danger to it. Solving problems. Efficiency. Matt tells the story of, don't you see most men taking out 2 bags of garbage at once? And what about when they use the washing machine? They load everything. They cram everything into this washing machine because to them, that's efficient. And lastly, the bottom line. What's funny about this bottom line is men want us, women, to get right to the point. Remember, they have approximately 7,000 words they like to use during the day. We have 20,000. Women like to digress. So those are the igniters, the laws of chemistry. If you follow these, your communication skills are going to be so precise and so crystal clear, you will not have miscommunication any longer. Kundalini Yoga. Kundalini Yoga is over 5,000 years. It's the only yoga I have ever studied, and it is also based on science and technology. One of the sciences that Kundalini Yoga has studied is the aspect of anger and how anger will produce ill health, predominantly cancer. They have studied that women, in particular, when they have anger issues repeatedly, it is in our heart center. This anger stays in our breast center, and that's one of the reasons so many women have breast cancer, is because that anger, which they have not learned how to control or even to let go, stays in our heart center in our breast area. You can do specific kriyas, an exercise that will control your anger, even prevent anger. The second aspect that is scientifically proven is your breathing. Many of us do not breathe correctly, and breathing correctly means all the way down to your belly and slowly. Now, this is not a normal breath. We don't do this typically during our day. Therefore, you want to set time aside before you go to bed, or maybe before you get up. If you're sitting in traffic while you're doing the dishes, it doesn't matter, but try to spend a few minutes a day to really breathe all the way to your belly. Count to 8. Breathe, 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 and then slowly let it out. One of the reasons breathing deeply is so important is because it brings oxygen to your brain. If we don't have enough oxygen to our brain, we cannot think clearly. We can't make good decisions. We hyperventilate. Think of the young children you see, maybe your own or someone else's, when they get upset, when they get frustrated, when they have temper tantrums. I was notorious for temper tantrums when I was young. They're not breathing correctly. Therefore, this is a very good technique to teach to the youngsters in our life. Lastly, wine. Rosé, rosé, rosé. That's all I drink. But this is the season of rosé. I am helping a friend at her retail store, beautiful little boutique retail store called Fourth and Vine in St. Petersburg. When I walked in on the first day, I was shocked to see one of my absolute favorite rosés ever. Landhaus Mayer. It is from Austria. It is a beautiful rosé, and I had asked another wine shop if they could get it for me, and they said it was impossible, so I'm in heaven. It is a beautiful, delicate, elegant, it's just an everyday gorgeous. The grape is ZWEIGELT. I'm not going to spell it because never can you understand when I spell something on my podcast. It's about $15 or $16. I would call it a patio pounder, but it's too delicate, it's too elegant, it's too beautiful, although I do have a couple of glasses a couple times a week. It's a Stelvin cap. A Stelvin cap, many people would call that a screw cap, but it's not. Stelvin caps are made much better than a screw cap because the Stelvin cap has some pressure inside of it. It has a little bit of a lining, so it actually grasps onto the top of the wine bottle, and it will preserve it for a nice while. In conclusion, the law of chemistry involves women's igniters and men's igniters. And when you learn these, if you just learn a couple this year, this month, over the year, your communication skill in work and at home will so vastly improve that you're not going to continue to have all these miscommunications. Kundalini Yoga. Learn how to control your anger through kriyas. Learn how to breathe correctly so that your brain is getting oxygen. Teach this to your children. Landhaus Mayer Rose from Austria, one of the most delicious rosés you will ever find in your life. To wrap this up, I am not a life consultant. I'm not a life coach. I produce this podcast every week to help hundreds of people over the world. Just take 3 fun subjects and improve your life. Merci et au revoir.